What's up, guys? My name is Edward, also known as Deadly Crypto. I'm an analyst here with Crypto University. In this video, we're going to break down the MACD, right? We're going to be going over MACD 101. So if you'll see, it's one of the built-in scripts. You got the MACD. You don't have to put MACD strategy. I'll just throw the MACD on there. And we'll talk about how you can read this. So we're looking at a 4-hour chart here. In this particular scenario that we are looking at, we have a downtrend, as we can tell by a period of lower highs and lower lows. So how can the MACD help us identify when the downtrend will reverse? First, we have to talk about the MACD and understand its input signals. So the fast length is the 12, or the small channel, and the slow length is the 26, or the large channel, right? And one is the MACD and the other is the signal. So you can put these to whatever you want. Basically, this will take the moving average over the last 12 days, and this will take the moving average over the last 26 days, and put them in a way that you can see on the line chart here behind it. So for the source, if you do open, high, lower, close, it'll take it from the candlesticks open, high, lower, close. I just prefer to leave close on so the data is finished. So you can smooth the signal however you like. I usually just leave it at 9. If you change it, you'll notice changes in the lines back here. So it makes it more rough or more smooth. Just go ahead and leave it at the preset if you don't really know too much. So you can change the histogram colors. The histogram is right here along this median line. So if it's below the histogram, it's going to be red. If it's coming back towards, it's going to be a lighter shade of red. If it's strong going away, it's going to be dark green. And if it is lighter green, it's going to be losing its momentum. So that is a momentum indicator. It gauges the momentum, right? The histogram gauges the momentum, and the actual MACD line and signal gauge the exponential moving averages. So you can put the colors to whatever you like here. You can also change your precision. If you leave it to default, change it to 8, you'll see that there is a change. So I will just leave it at default. So now that you know what the inputs are, how you can change them, let's go ahead and talk about how you can read them. So if you are in this scenario right here, we have a wide range of things happening on our MACD. So if you are looking right here, whenever the MACD flips the histogram and comes below, it'll start to make this bubble right below the histogram. And when you can tell, it's gaining volume and gaining selling volume. So our downtrend is following this pattern. Now we start to lose selling volume, and you can see the histogram go back to the median or the middle, right? So that is indicative of a short-term uptrend. Here you would be trading against the trend. So you want to find your opportunities in the downtrend to be able to make profits. So here you can see you are going down away from the median on the histogram, and that is reflected in the candlesticks. As you come back up, it is reflected in the candlesticks briefly. You have a small period of uptrend here, and then it actually doesn't hit the middle of the histogram, so it continues its downtrend, which means that the downtrend is still being reflected in the candlesticks, right? So as you can see, this was a pullback candle. It loses volume, gains some more selling volume, loses selling volume. So you can see that reflected in the candlesticks. Now you can also tell this is a solid downtrend because here we have a cross. So the MACD comes under the signal line, which means that the moving average is below the signal, which means it's a downtrend. So here you can see a fake cross, which the histogram displays that too, and you can see a little bit of upward price movement reflected, but overall the cross happens right again, and you can see that this brings our downtrend back to life. So from this area to this area is a downtrend. You can see that by the cross. So you could pull your position here and you're short and take your profits if you measured from your signal cross and got in at the candlestick right after your signal cross and you took your short. So that means you sell your position to the top of to the peak of the first one after you see the volume decreasing. That would have been a 6% profitable area. If you decided to be brave and ride it to the next peak, that would have been 15%, and in the next 2 candlesticks you see volume pull back. So even if you waited for those next 2 candlesticks, you still could have got out at 10%. Now if you were following the MACD lines here, you can see that this downtrend still was not over yet. So if you actually wrote it to the cross here and see where there's a bit of discrepancy, it crosses back up. Here you can get out with minus 15%, minus 15%. And if you were waiting for that trend reversal, you can actually see that it did not occur. So you can continue to ride this down as the MACD still stays far away from each other and the histogram continues to flip once more. So now you can ride this out to the bottom of the histogram would have been, after 2 pullbacks on the histogram flip, you could have got out at minus 36%. And if you rode that to the signal cross, you could have got out at minus 33%. So this was a short opportunity based on the MACD. If we scroll just ahead here, you see there's a bit of confusion in the area and it's not going any direction too strongly. So this is not a very good confirmation. You would want to have an area like this where you can see that is a strong downtrend confirmation. And here you have the MACD cross. So that's a strong uptrend confirmation. So now we'll measure along this line. If you get in at the strong MACD uptrend confirmation, so here is after the cross, here is where the candlestick opened. So after the cross, if you ride to the top of the histogram bubble, and you can see this is losing volume, losing volume, losing volume. So here's the top of the histogram bubble, that's 27%. And if you come back down even to this bubble here, right all the way to the close, using the MACD signal histogram, you're still at plus 11%, right? But if you're looking at the overall trend strength, the MACD signals haven't crossed yet, so this is still considered a valid uptrend. So staying in the trade all the way to the MACD signal cross and getting out right after the signal cross, at the open of that candle would be 26%, and at the bottom of that candle would be plus 18%. So here, coming to the end of this, now we can see that we have a strong uptrend reversal signal. So this is a cross, and this is flip to histogram. So usually, whenever we can see here that this is a cross and it flips the histogram, this is a strong signal. This is a cross and it flips the histogram, this is a strong signal. And you can see in price action, after it flips the histogram and the MACD signal lines, you can see a downtrend until the next signal cross, which is right here. So that's easy money. And if you now look at this cross and this cross here, you can see that the histogram is coming back up. So we're starting to bubble out. Now, if you hadn't gotten in on this trade yet, it might be a little too late at this point based off the histogram. But the signals are still showing to be nice and wide. So we could still see some more upwards price action based off of this signal here. So if we wanted to get in based off the cross in the very next candlestick, so if we didn't see that cross and waited for it to split open like it did here, we could get in at the open, and right now we would currently be up about 8% profits in just a few candlesticks on the 4-hour time frame. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that on a smaller time frame, and we can see how it can still be helpful. So here's the 1 hour, and this is why it's important to do multiple time frame analysis. We have another video about multiple time frame analysis if you haven't checked that one out. So here you can see, based off of this strong uptrend cross, the MACD crossed both the histogram and the signal. So now you can see that this is going to be an area of profitability of about 10%, right? And in that scenario, you can see that we are losing strength, so you'll want to get out of your trade at that point. So if you still have it in and you get in after the cross, again, we get in after the cross and we see that the histogram is losing strength, we could still get out with plus 5.97% profits. Now, if we didn't want to get out yet because the MACD signal still shows an uptrend, we could have rode this until after the cross and after the flip. So here the MACD crosses and flips. And now what do you know? We'll go ahead and get out after that signal trade. So we still have an area of probability of 3.15%. And looking at this where we are now, we can see that on the 1 hour time frame, we're getting ready to cross. So this looks about peaked out here. We have lost MACD on the histogram. We have lost volume on the histogram, and now we are seeing some selling volume as this approaches the median, which means that we could see another bubble pop below, and means we could see these lines cross soon. They're getting closer to each other, so it looks like we could see them cross soon. So that is MACD 101. That is how you will use the MACD to identify if you are in an uptrend or a downtrend. If you are trading the MACD crosses, that is an easy strategy. Basically, all you have to do is look at the MACD cross and decide, okay, is it going up or down? Like this MACD is crossed right here, and you can see it goes all the way down. Price action is reflected in the candlesticks. Price flips up the histogram. Price crosses on the MACD. So this is two confirmations from the MACD that you have an uptrend about to come, and you can ride that up for profits. So hopefully this gives you a brief outlook on what the moving average convergence divergence indicator does and how you can use it to be profitable in your trades. Thank you for watching.